Hi, everyone. Welcome. We're going to give people a few minutes to come on, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Hi, everyone. Welcome. We're going to give people a few minutes to get on the call, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks for being here. Hi, everyone. Welcome. We're going to give people just a few more minutes to get on the call, and then we'll go ahead and get started today. Thanks for being here. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Good evening. My name is Annie Fortnow. I work for Jumpspark, which is the Jewish Teen Initiative in Atlanta. And I'm so excited to welcome you to our second annual virtual college road trip. And this is our kickoff event with University of Florida. Jumpspark drives innovative teen programming in Atlanta, and we're based out of the Jewish Federation of Greater Atlanta. We're part of a larger initiative called the Jewish Teen Education and Engagement Funders Collaborative. Spring 2020 marked our first ever virtual college road trip, and the positive response and active participation from all teens and parents really exceeded our expectations. So we're so excited to come back with an amazing road trip experience this year in partnership with the Jewish Teen Education and Engagement Funders Collaborative, and have you join us for a month-long journey featuring 40+ colleges and different webinars and information sessions all about the college search process. So thank you for being here tonight. We will have new college tours and information sessions being held throughout the month of June. So definitely check us out. We're at Jumpspark ATL on Facebook and Instagram, where you can learn all about the different schools that we're featuring. And you can go to our website, roadtriptocollege.org, to sign up for more info sessions and create your own personal road trip. For today, we are so excited to feature the University of Florida. We have some amazing presenters, including Anna Sullivan-Quam from admissions. We have two students, Sadie Koppelman and Alex Shear, and then we have Rabbi Jonah Zinn from Hillel to talk all about Jewish life on campus. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Anna.
Hello, everyone. Small but mighty today. So glad you guys joined us. As Annie said, I am from the University of Florida Office of Admissions. Thank you so much for joining today. If we didn't have you guys here, I would just be presenting in an empty room by myself. So I'm so glad you guys are here. Obviously, we wish you would have been able to visit us on campus, but hopefully this gives you a great taste of the Gator Nation and allows you to get some of your questions answered. So I'm going to start with a presentation to give you an overview of UF, the application process, and then there'll be plenty of time for question and answer at the end. Now, our presentation today is going to focus on freshman admissions, but I'm also going to provide lots of general information about the school. So let's go ahead and get started. So a little bit about University of Florida. We are Florida's oldest and most prestigious university. We are the top ranked school in the state for just about everything, and the number 6 ranked best public school in the country, something we're so proud of, and you saw on the last slide. We're a pretty big school. We have about 55,000 students, 38,000 of which are undergrads, which actually does make us one of the 5 largest universities in the nation. And a lot of people get really scared by that. They hear that number and they're like, oh gosh, I don't just want to be a number. But I really want to refocus your thinking about that today, because at UF, being a big school means that you have big opportunities that aren't provided to you otherwise. Because even with that many students, we still have a 17-to-1 student to faculty ratio, and that's a number that's actually going to be decreasing. So never fear, positive things about being a big school. So as you see on the screen, we make our home in Gainesville. That is North Central Florida, for those of you that aren't familiar. There's a ton to do here. I'm not a native Floridian, like I imagine many of you are not. And we are in a fantastic spot. We're about an hour and a half from the beach, which I will tell you from personal experience is a great distance away to be from the beach, because it's close enough that if you like really need some beach R&R, hit some sun or some waves, you can do that, but it's not so close that you're going to be tempted to just hop over there instead of going to your afternoon class. Perfect distance away. We're about 2 hours from Orlando, about an hour and a half from Jacksonville, and about 2.5 hours from Tampa. And Gainesville is also a great town in its own right. It is a quintessential college town, meaning there are amenities of a big city like great dining, arts, culture, and airport, but no traffic. And if you go just a bit outside of town, you also have access to fantastic outdoor activities like kayaking, hiking, tubing, swimming, sailing. If you like being outdoors in any capacity, this is the place for you, because you get to do it more often than not because of the great weather. So that's just a little bit about us, but I want to switch gears now to talk about what we can offer you and why you should consider applying to UF. And the first reason is really because we can offer you fantastic academic flexibility and excellence. There are so many things to study at UF, 120 plus undergraduate majors, over 200 undergraduate minors. So if you want to study it, good chance we offer it. And while you're going to indicate a major on your application, it's good to know that at UF, you are applying to the school, not to a major. And this is where that flexibility comes in. Because roughly 65 to 70% of undergrads today change their mind about what they want to major in. And at UF, because we're not admitting you to a major, we're admitting you to UF, you have options at UF that other schools can't provide if you, like 65 to 75% of your peers, change your mind about what's the right path for you. And at UF, we believe one of our jobs as a college is to prepare you for the next steps. Whether that's straight into a career or straight into grad school, we want to make sure that you have the resources you need in undergrad to move seamlessly into those next steps. So for those of you that are thinking about grad school, well, research is really important for those looking to continue their studies. Although everyone, of course, is welcome to participate in research, no matter your academic plans. And we have faculty that are at the forefront of their research. Last year, when the COVID-19 outbreak hit, faculty from our colleges of medicine and engineering very quickly collaborated to develop a low-cost open source ventilator. But the thing that really sets UF apart is that at UF, research is not just for graduate students and faculty. This is something super unique about us. There's no other school in the top 10 that provides as much support for undergrad research. We have a fantastic center that their whole job is making sure that you, when you come to UF, have opportunities to connect with research right away. So you don't have to wait until grad school to start changing the world. We currently have 10,000 active research projects between all the participating undergrads, graduates, and faculty. Now, if grad school or research not your thing, that's cool too, because we also offer a variety of pre-career services. Our Career Connection Center hosts workshops and events to help you with your professional and your personal development. Everything you need: resume building, mock interviews, networking opportunities, career planning. And we have specialized pre-health and pre-law advising. So I know there's probably some of you out there that are interested in some sort of specialized professional grad school. And I think probably one of the most important things about our credibility is that in an effort to ensure that you have access to the most brilliant minds in your field, we recently finished hiring 500 new faculty leaders. We wanted to make sure that you as a student didn't have to compromise access to excellence when you were looking at your school options. And all of this, I say all of this to say that students are successful at UF. Our students are successful. We have a 97% freshman retention rate, which means our students love being a Gator, they come back. And we have a 90% six-year graduation rate, which is 32% higher than the national average, which means that our students don't struggle to graduate. They receive the support they need to succeed in their classes. And I think one of the other really big things that makes UF special is that at the end of the day, we can offer you a fantastic value and return on your investment, because we all know that's what college is, right? It's you investing in your future. We focus on providing excellence in education at an affordable cost. Our in-state tuition is the 6th lowest in the country of the top 100 best public schools. And our out-of-state tuition is not only falls well below the national average, but is actually the lowest out-of-state tuition for the top 100 best public schools. So if you're going out of state and you're excited about that idea, you can't get any more affordable than UF. And we're not the only ones who think this. Kiplinger has ranked us the #2 best value college. We're also a school that works to limit the costs on our students so that you can actually focus on your studies. We have a student healthcare center right on campus. We have a career closet where you can borrow professional clothing or get professional headshots. We have a food pantry for the whole UF community. We really want you to be able to focus on the things you need to succeed, not on how you're going to pay for essential services. And I think this is probably the biggest benefit we offer, and that is that more than half, I think it's almost 2/3 now, of our undergrads graduate debt-free. And as someone who does have undergraduate debt still, I cannot tell you what a gift it is to not have to bring that debt with you as you continue on in life. And we can offer you that. Now, we're not just a school that is serious about our academics. We're also a school that's really vibrant and active. We have over 1,000 different student clubs and organizations, so that whatever you're into, you can find your people. We have all of the traditional organizations that you would expect at a larger school, but we also have some really unique things, and that's what makes the Gator Nation so cool. We have, despite being in Florida, an ice hockey team. We have a humans versus zombies club. which I don't really know a ton about, but I understand that it's some combination of like capture the flag and tag, which sounds really cool. A Disney World club, a modeling group, a roller coaster design club, an antisocial social club, which is a club for people who identify as antisocial and want to be around other people who identify as antisocial, which I just think is so cool. We even have an award-winning, and I'm not kidding you here, rock, paper, scissors team. They compete against other rock, paper, scissors teams. I don't even understand how, but they do. So whatever you're into, whether it's, traditional, cultural, artistic, political organizations, or it's competitive rock, paper, scissors, you're going to find your people at UF. And our Department of Student Affairs supports students in so many different ways. We have our Office of First Generation Student Success, our team in the Multicultural and Diversity Affairs Office who celebrate and empower diverse communities and advocate for an inclusive campus for all students across all identities. We have the You Matter, We Care team, which bring programs related to health, safety, and your holistic well-being, and a top-notch disability resource center if you qualify. So we really want to make sure that you get the whole package experience at UF. So at UF, we have a couple different pathways to actually becoming a Gator. We have our traditional pathway, which is what most colleges offer on campus during the fall and spring semesters, where summer is optional, but we also have some other non-traditional pathways that I want to talk to you about. One is a FIT program called Innovation Academy. When I say FIT, what that means is it's a great program for those who fit the designs of the program. But you really do want to make sure it's the right program for you before you apply to it. This is a program designed for our innovators. They come to on-campus classes during the spring and the summer. And instead of having summer as their traditional off time, they have fall as their traditional off time. This allows them to have better access to internships, study abroad, research, and really just get a different experience because these are students who are really driven. Like I said, this is something you apply for as part of your freshman application. And if you think this might be the right fit for you, make sure you spend time researching because it's a great program, but it's not the program for everybody. We also have a program called PACE, which stands for Pathways to Campus Enrollment. And this is a combination online and on-campus degree at UF. This is where you would actually start your degree online. And after you complete your first 60 credit hours and your prerequisite courses, you transition to on-campus classes. Now, this is not a program, unlike Innovation Academy, that you apply for. It's something that we might offer to you if we think you're a talented student, but we simply don't have space for you in our on-campus program. And we do have a fantastic honors program as well. That's another application that's incorporated right into your freshman application. Now, it's good to note that there are other pathways to get into the Honors College once you're a UF student, but the only way into the freshman honors path is the essays required as part of their application. So if that's something you're interested in, I'd recommend spending some quality time on them. Okay, now that I've hopefully piqued your interest about UF, let's talk about our freshman admissions process. So for those of you that don't know what year you guys are, but if you are a junior, about to be a senior, these are dates you're going to want to pay attention to. These are the 3 dates for our essentially one set of deadlines. We don't have early action. We don't have early decision. The deadlines you see on the screen are the set of deadlines. So if you want to be a UF student, you have to hit all 3 for the 3 different parts. Because if you miss even one of those 3 deadlines, you get moved to the space available group. And it's not a big secret that UF, we pretty much don't ever have space for students in that group. So if you actually want to get full consideration, you make sure you are on time. So the first deadline is for the application, which you do through the Common or the Coalition platforms. That's November 1st. The next deadline is for December 1st. That is for the student self-reported academic record. That's something different that we do. We don't accept transcripts. A lot of high schools, your high school guidance counselor sends a transcript. We don't do that. We have you manually enter your grades from freshman through junior year in our system so that we can recalculate your grades on an equitable scale. And the last part for us is the SAT or the ACT scores. In the state of Florida, it is a state law that we have to have SAT or ACT scores to admit a student. So we are not a test optional school because it is written into Florida state law. And we need to have those in our office by December 15th. Now, those are the 3 deadlines you gotta meet. And if you meet them, you'll receive your admissions decision in late February. Now, the question I get asked most often after this is, okay, those are your deadlines. What are you looking for? Well, at UF, we're a holistic institution. So what that means is while other schools might consider you on a threshold basis, like as long as you have above a certain GPA and test score, you're considered, or some schools, they may even just automatically admit you. We, as a holistic school, look at everything you as a person bring to the table, because guess what? We think you're a person and not a set of numbers. Crazy, I know, but it is true. So for us, we consider you academically, then we consider everything else you bring to the table in your consideration. So it's, like I said, broken into just a couple pieces. First one being your academic review. So that's going to be your high school GPA, the strength of your senior year schedule, and your SAT or ACT scores. So when we have you self-submit your grades, we're going to recalculate your GPA so that it's on an equitable scale. What that means is that you aren't going to be at a disadvantage because some other school is on like a 6 or a 7.0 GPA school. You are going to be compared completely fairly to everybody else. So on our scale, 5.0 is the highest any class can get, but we use, for the most part, a traditional 4.0 scale. If you've taken any honors classes or pre-IB or pre-AP classes, well, you get a half-point boost. If you take any AP, IB, or Cambridge ACE classes, you get a full point boost. And if you take any dual enrollment or early college classes, if they're in the core academic subjects, you can also get a full point boost. So an A in regular biology would be a 4.0. An A in honors biology would be a 4.5. And an A in AP biology would be a 5.0 on our scale. Now, we're not going to calculate your senior year grades in this GPA recalculation because by the time you submit it, your first semester grades aren't going to be out yet. So for senior year, we're really just going to look at what are the classes you're taking. We're expecting that students are going to take the highest level courses offered at their high school, whatever they may be. We don't have a minimum number or a mandatory number, but we expect to see students who are challenging themselves. And it's last but not least, it's good to know that we do super score both the SAT and the ACT, meaning that if you've taken either test multiple times, we'll take the best score from each section out of all the times that you've taken that test and combine them together to form the best possible composite score. Now, as I mentioned, academics are very important to us, but we're also going to look at who you are as a person because you're not a set of numbers. So that's that holistic review I was talking about. So it's good to know we're not going to consider the following in your admissions: interviews, letters of recommendation, resumes, portfolios, mid-year reports. We don't even track demonstrated interest because we don't want to give anyone a way to work the system to get an advantage. What we're going to look at is only really the stuff submitted through the Common or the Coalition app. That's where we're getting this information from. This is where you tell us who you are and what makes you awesome. This is your extracurricular activities, your volunteer opportunities, your work experience, and lots of detail is key here. This is just a good tip. Don't just write, I was the section leader in band. Give us details on exactly what you did and why it was worth your time. And that essay is another really key portion because, like I said, we don't host interviews. So that essay is your interview. What do you want us to know about what makes you special and unique? I don't need your life story, and I don't want to hear about somebody else's struggle with this or that and how you learn so much from watching them go through something challenging. I just want to learn something about you as a person. It doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be crazy, but we want to learn something about you because we are admitting you. And that's probably the most important thing to remember. All right, that was a lot of information. What questions do you guys have? Oh, I see there's a great question in the Q&A. And that is, does being a UF legacy affect acceptance? It does not. We're really big on equity. We're really big on ensuring that everyone's on an even keel. So being a legacy, it's a question that has to be asked because it's part of like the Common and the Coalition platforms, but it's just not something we consider. We have about 500,000 Gator alums, so that'd be real hard to give everyone a boost up when their parents or grandparents or aunts or uncles are part of that group. What other questions do we have? I know we're small, but ask anything.
Thank you, Anna. Also, like, we can have a time for Q&A at the end, so we'll be able to answer more questions then. So keep thinking about your questions, putting them into that Q&A at the bottom, and then we'll come back to that.
Awesome. Well, and in the meantime, if you don't have any questions now or don't have any questions at the end, there's lots of information on our website, and it's really easy to reach out and contact us. We're super responsive to both phone calls and our contact form. So. Oh, and follow us on social media. We also recently have a TikTok, which is really fun. So do follow us on social media. You may even see me on occasion. But I think that's it for me. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Anna. I now want to pass it over to two students, Alex and Sadie, to share a little bit more about their own experiences on campus. If y'all are ready.
I'll go first. So hi, I'm Alex. I'm from Tampa. Majoring in applied physiology and kinesiology and minoring in business. I'm on the pre-med track. I went to UF honestly because it was between Michigan and UF, but I have an older brother there and it's 2 hours from home, couldn't turn down the weather. I personally loved it. Everyone's friendly. Even though it's a big school, it's easy to make it small. The teachers are easy to reach out to. Advisors are very helpful. The biggest thing is just you got to take initiative. No one's going to hold your hand, but it's easy to work past that. And honestly, UF's the best.
Hi, I'm Sadie Koppelman. I just started my sophomore year at UF. I'm majoring in food science and minoring in nutrition. I actually was a botany major my first semester. Like how Anna said, a lot of people change their major, so I'm a part of that group. UF was my dream school since I was 11 or 12. I always wanted to go, and I knew that I wanted to do something in agriculture, and UF has an incredible agricultural program, and my classes and professors have definitely lived up to that expectation that I had. This school is absolutely incredible in itself. The people, I'm always meeting such amazing, intelligent, kind and compassionate people, whether that's through clubs or different just events that UF held. Even throughout COVID, they did a wonderful job allowing the students to connect with one another through this pandemic. Because I was actually there the past year on campus, so I was able to experience that. I'm also a large part of Hillel. It's where I spend most of my time other than the library. And that has been an incredible experience, meeting new people and learning how to find myself. So definitely Hillel is a great organization, but overall, I'm so happy that I went to the University of Florida. I love basically everything about it. And it is definitely a great option to consider if you are thinking about attending or applying to this college.
Thank you so much, Sadie and Alex. And again, if y'all have any questions for Sadie or Alex or Anna, you can put them in the Q&A at the bottom of your screen, and we will get to them at the end of this call. And I want to pass it over to Rabbi Jonathan, if you are ready as well, to talk a little bit more about Hillel and Jewish life on campus.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Annie, for having me, and particularly thank you to Sadie and Alex for being here. It's always great to have some of our students who can tell you a little bit about life at UF. You know, something that Anna said during her presentation really stuck with me. You know, she said that that UF is a big school with big opportunities, and I think that that is true of Jewish life. It's probably true of everything, but particularly of Jewish life. We're one of the largest Jewish campus populations in the country. And what that means is if there's something that you care about as a Jewish student, there are other Jewish students who care about it too. And there's opportunities to work together to pursue that common interest within a Jewish context. And the way our program really breaks down is that I like to think about it a lot like the OS on your smartphone, right? There's lots of different kinds of apps that come with your phone, right? We have apps that are pre-installed that are there whether you want them or not. They come with a program, things like Shabbat and holidays, like our student care program, COVID care packages, or matzo ball soup when you're sick. Opportunities that are there for every student all the time, and they're just a phone call or email away. And then we have a series of apps that are open to everyone, but you have to go to the App Store and download them. Things that you apply for, like our Birthright Israel program, which is one of the largest in the country, like Leaders of Change, our freshman leadership development program, like the Jewish Learning Fellowship, our 8-week learning program, or Israel Learning Fellowship, or Big Israel Questions, right? We have all these different sort of opportunities that happen in small groups of anywhere from about, on the small side, some of them are small as 6. Things like J Squad, our community building program, where you're put together with half a dozen other students that share your interests, and you engage in activities together over the course of a year. One way that we help make a big campus small and help you meet your people. Up to Jewish Learning Fellowship cohorts are about 25. And what's so cool about these kind of opportunities that students opt into is they give you something that they bring you together with a group of students with a common interest, and they develop a depth of relationship because you're gathering every week for 6 or 8 weeks in a row, sometimes once or twice a month over the course of the year, and you really get to know those other students. And then there are the kinds of apps where just like sort of in the App Store, they're sort of user created, they're open source, right? Which are our Jewish student groups. Things, and we have Jewish student groups in virtually every area, from religious life, reform and conservative religious life that organize services and holiday celebrations, to cultural Israel, political Israel, various points of Hebrew language, Israel travel, to sort of all kinds of other sorts of opportunities, a women's group, Hillel athletics, sustainability with eco ambassadors, right? The menu for Jewish life at UF is really endless. And what is, I think, sort of most important to remember is that there's something for everyone. You just need to, sometimes you need help finding it. And that's where our team comes in play, and great students like Sadie and Alex that work as Hill ambassadors, but others as well in our professional staff that are there to help you figure out how you fit in to this big community with lots and lots of opportunities. And part of the way that I think that you do that is by sort of trying out different things that work for you, but also building a relationship with a Hillel professional or a Hillel student leader right off the bat. So I would encourage you that as soon as you know that you're going to be a Gator, that you go to our website, you follow us on social media, that you fill out the contact form so someone can get in touch with you. We start programming for incoming students over the summer with Summer B, but also in your home communities across Florida over the summer as a way to sort of help take a big campus and make it smaller and help people find their place in the Gator Nation. So the opportunities are endless at UF. And I think as we've heard from our students, it's really an exciting place to be, no matter who you are, but especially for Jewish Gators.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Rabbi Jonah. I'm going to ask all of our panelists to put your videos back on if you don't have them, and we'll come together for a little bit of Q&A. Honestly, I am sold. I want to go to UF. I don't see anything wrong with the campus. It seems like there are so many opportunities, and I'm really excited to learn even more with you all. The first question that we got was about sports, both the school sports and also intramural sports. I'm wondering, Anna, if you want to start with that, and then maybe we could go to Sadie and Alex to talk a little bit more if you're involved in any intramural sports.
Yeah, I could definitely talk a little bit about that. So, we are in the South, and we are a big SEC school with tons of Gator passion. Students love attending our sports, and sports are free for students with the exception of football games. And there's one more sport, I don't remember what it is exactly, but either way, there's a huge student discount for those. So it's really easy, even if you're not into sports, it's really easy to get swept up in the fantastic spirit and excitement around sporting events, our D1 sporting events. And you can find more information about what sports D1 sports do allow walk-ons or have like manager positions available on the University Athletics website. Intramural sports, also something really big at UF. I heard a stat that it's and I don't quote me entirely on this, but it's somewhere in the range of like 2/3 to 3/4 of UF students participate in an intramural sport at some point in their 4 years. Again, don't quote me on that entirely, but that says it all. Our students just really have opportunities to meet people and be engaged in whatever level they want. We also do have club sports as well, which are slightly more competitive than intramural sports and will compete against other schools. But Alex and Sadie, if you've got anything else to
add. Sadie, you can go.
Okay. So I'm actually a part of I'm actually a part of like a little ultimate Frisbee club that some students created that I didn't know, but at the University of Florida, a lot of students tend to create little pods of groups, and they'll invite whoever they want, and they'll go to the various fields on campus. For example, Flavitt Field, where I would play ultimate Frisbee on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 to 10 at night with a bunch of amazing people who I'd never met before, and I'm always bringing friends with me. But at the University of Florida, you'll find that a lot of students who aren't on, the professional teams or in the intramural sports, those professional teams, they will create little fun groups where you can meet new people, and it's just for fun. There's no counting the points or anything like that. So I'm just a part of the Ultimate Frisbee group with some great people, and I'm always bringing my friends along.
So I actually signed up for 4v4 flag football during the end of spring, and it was so fun. You just play a bunch of random people. It was a great time. And then me and my buddies, we found some beach volleyball courts. So then we would just get a big group and meet other people that were already playing there. So beach volleyball. And besides Flavitt Field, there's one called Norman Field, which is by Sorority Row. And I've thrown the baseball, played soccer, played like pickup football, and then spike ball. Spike ball is huge at UF. But if you just go to these fields, you just meet random people, and then like you make connections, and then every other weekend you can hit them up, and then you just play a game. It's really fun, and everyone's very open.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Just want to encourage people on the call, if you have any questions, to put them in the Q&A and we will get to them. The next question I see came in, I'd love to answer it out loud, is to talk a little bit about Greek life on campus. I don't know, Sadie or Alex, if either of you are involved or want to speak about any experiences you've had with it, or Anna, if you want to get us started just with a little bit about statistics about Greek life. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I can give a little bit of a background. So it ranges on the year, but about 20 to 25% of UF students are part of some form of Greek life. So that means plenty of opportunities to be involved if you want, but definitely don't have to have a social life at UF. We have a lot of different kinds of Greek organizations, which is really neat. Like we have your traditional fraternities and sororities, but we also have different organizations as well. So it doesn't have to be the traditional Greek life if you're not looking for it. We have lots of like multicultural Greek organizations that are open to everybody. We have National Panhellenic, which I think are the historically Black fraternities and sororities. So we've got lots of options if Greek life is something you're interested in, but it's also not a school where you have to be in Greek life to have a social life. It's definitely not one of those schools.
Thank you.
So I rushed in the fall. I'm in AE Pi. So I went the Jewish route, I'd say. And that kind of opened up my eyes to like getting involved in Hillel, because a bunch of my buddies were part of a thing called Jewish Greek Council. And then that's a Hillel group. And then from there, you just meet more Jewish people. And then from other fraternities and sororities. And then I love Greek life, but you don't need it necessarily. Like I've made friends with like my dorm mates or the people I played pickup sports with, or my one in-person class. Like you make friends everywhere.
Thanks. Rabbi Jonah, were you going to answer as well?
Yeah, maybe Sadie, I know, so you're not in a sorority, right? So maybe you want to speak a little bit about that part of the experience, and then I can maybe add some additional comments.
Oh, I'm not a part of Greek life. I'm not in a sorority, but like how Alex said, it's definitely possible to make a lot of friends and meet people who are similar to you, who have similar interests if you're not in Greek life. And as you said before, Hillel is a wonderful platform to do that. That's how I did it. I started Hillel before I even came to college in that summer, and I had no problem meeting new people. So if your Greek life is not necessarily your route, don't panic, it's okay. You'll definitely meet people in other ways.
Yeah, and I think that those are great points. The only thing I would add is I think when it comes to the Jewish community, right, there's this perception that the Jewish community is heavily involved in the Greek system. And it's probably true that it is overrepresented in the Greek system, 20, we're up higher than the 25% that Anna articulated. But it's also important to know that there are thousands of Jewish students that aren't in the Greek system. And there are, we estimate, there are 2 historically Jewish sororities. And then depending on the year, anywhere from 2 to 5 historically Jewish fraternities on campus. And all told, and then there are Jewish students in every other, or virtually every other chapter as well, which is really important to know. And that's part of why Jewish Greek Council is so cool, because it brings together both the students who are in the sort of the Jewish Greek system, which is made up primarily of those sort of predominantly Jewish chapters, of which comprises probably in excess or around 1,000 students in the Jewish Greek system. And then there's also several hundred Jewish students in other chapters, and Jewish Greek Council brings them all together. So you may be one of half a dozen Jewish students in your chapter, but you're able to connect with other Jewish students in the Greek system through that. And it's really, I think, another one of those ways that you sort of help take a big campus and make it small and feel a sense of connection.
Amazing. Thank you all so much. Sounds like a great opportunity, Jewish Greek Council. I have a question for Sadie and Alex. One thing that you wish you had known going into your time at UF, if one of you wants to take it first.
I would say that one thing I wish I would have known is that it's okay to branch out and try things that you didn't necessarily think that you would try. For example, I guess in other words, stepping out of your comfort zone, trying a sport. If somebody asks you if they want to do just join a group of people, that's how I got involved in Frisbee. I had played a little bit, back before college, but I was like, I've never really played with a bunch of people in games all the time, and I ended up loving it. Maybe try taking a class that you don't necessarily know a lot about. I took a women's studies class my first semester, and I absolutely fell in love, and I never thought that I would be interested in women's studies. Just to branch out and step out of your comfort zone a little bit. That's what college is for. It's to find yourself. It's to make mistakes, to trial and error. And I definitely think that's okay. And sometimes you think that you're the only person that's doing that trial and error, but everybody around you is doing it too. So don't be afraid in college to branch out and try something new.
I definitely agree with that. I'd say just do something random or something like that. Like go to downtown Gainesville with your friends and like restaurant hop, try something new. Like Sadie said, like try a different sport. Like for me, I never played beach volleyball and I fell in love with it. And then, in high school, you always have like your lunch buddies. Embrace a lunch by yourself. Like it's like a growing experience. And then I kind of loved it because like I'll be want to get all my schoolwork done, and then you just do a quick lunch, and it's okay if you're eating alone. It's part of the experience. So yeah, just try random stuff and then be proud of yourself for doing it.
Amazing. Thank you so much. For the last question, I'd just like everyone to go around and just share a favorite thing about UF that you would want high school students to know before applying to college. So I'll go ahead and start with Rabbi Jonah, if that's okay.
Yeah, I think for me, what I love about UF is the sense of community that we have not only on campus, but a community that transcends the globe, right? Wherever you wear your Gator shirt, I'm sure students have had this experience in Anna too, right? You know, people always say go Gators, which is just a great experience any airport in the world. And also one that transcends generations. And that's true of the Jewish community in particular, I think, which is a really special feeling. And it makes you, I think, proud to be a Gator, but also it creates a network that's there to support you, you know, wherever you go for the rest of your life, and you take your education with you. And it's a really powerful experience to be a part of this kind of community.
Thank you so much. Sadie, do you want to share?
I think my favorite part has to be the people. The people are so driven and kind and compassionate, and no matter where I am, even if I'm at Marston Library, I will maybe sit next to or across from someone because of COVID that I will meet that is just so cool. The people are one of a kind at University of Florida, and I live in an area that's very it's very enclosed. A lot of people are closed-minded, and when I went to University of Florida, there are people from everywhere who have all different perspectives, and it is the coolest thing. So that's has to be my favorite thing about the college.
Thank you so much, Alex.
I love how warm the faculty and staff are. Like, I'd say we became buddies. The lunch lady who would take my card and swipe it, like, her name was Miss Pat. I'd be like, hey, Miss Pat, and then she'd always be smiling to me. And then also the Marston library, the security guard, we'd always have like it was quick, like 10-second interaction every day, but just the fact that they were so kind, like, it just lifted my mood. So UF, like, I guess, promotes that friendly environment, which I love.
Thank you. And Anna, you want to close us out?
Yeah, I really want to echo everything that kind of has been said already. You know, I'm not from UF. It's not my undergrad institution. I'm not from Florida, but I have been so pleased to see the community, the spirit that exists here. You know, UF is not, it's not an easy safety school that everyone goes to just because they have to. Students are passionate about being at UF, and you cannot recreate that. You cannot recreate the excitement, the drive, the talent. If you want to surround yourself with talented people who are, you know, as everyone has said, excited and passionate and friendly, and you got that here. You really do. Oh, and I'll also add, we have the largest occupied bat houses in North America. We have 500,000 bats who live on campus. And I think that's really fun because you can go watch them every evening at twilight. You can watch 500,000 bats come out and eat bugs over Lake Alice right on campus. So that's just another cool fun fact.
Amazing. Thank you. Such a great note to end on. And what an amazing community. So if you want to learn more about University of Florida, we'll be sending a follow-up email right after this webinar with all the information that you need to reach out to our panelists. And we also encourage you to go on our website, roadtriptocollege.org, to sign up for more information sessions happening all throughout the month of June, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook to see what's going on the road trip at JumpSpark ATL. We actually had a really amazing takeover happen today from another UF student, all about her experience on campus. So definitely check that out if you'd like to learn more. Thank you again, and we hope to see you soon. Bye, everyone. And thank you to our panelists. Bye.